Are you going to kiss me? Baby, are you going to kiss me? Are you going to give me a kissy? Are you going to kiss me? Passy. Are you going to give me a hug? Yes? You coming up? Yeah. Alright, folks. Here's what's going down. Read this article about melamine in our food source. Read the article. It's in the New York Times. It's in the U.S. food source. You might know that that is what was tainting the baby formula in China, tainting the dog food and cat food that hit the U.S. I will tell you a joke about that. That happened, what, last year maybe? And at the time, we were buying for, Canine actually eats organic dog food. And before that, he was eating a special diet. I switched to organic dog food because I could get it at the store that I was shopping at. And I don't want him eating a whole bunch of crap either. But and one brand that we were buying at that time was called Pet Promise. And when I went to buy it, the checkout guy said, "We promise not to kill your animals." And it was funny. Anyway. So melamine, here's the deal. It's in U.S. food. It's a byproduct of plastics. It's in everything. If you had your body tested, it's in you. It's pervasive. We don't even know the full extent of what it's going to mean for, kids in the future. There's a safety amount that's set by the FDA that is allowed to be used as a filler in foods. It is based on an adult body weight. It is not based on even my body weight. It's not based on a child's body weight, certainly. And it's based on how much food that adult would consume per pound of their own body weight. Well, kids not only weigh less, but they eat vastly more per pound of their body weight. So when the FDA is going to get around to setting safety standards based on the size of a toddler instead of an adult man, I do not know, but let's hope it's sometime soon. In the meantime, there is only one thing you can do to protect yourself and your family, and that is to switch to organic food. I know I've been saying switch to organic food for because of pesticides, many of which are carcinogens, that you should switch to organically fed, if possible, meats and dairy to eliminate the antibiotics and the pesticides from their feed and growth hormones. But here's a new thing that I didn't know about, the melamine. So the melamine is a plastic byproduct that is used as a filler in foods. It's allowed to be. It's also used as a fertilizer. It is in your produce. It sinks into the soil and is actually put into, grows into the plant. It is mixed into animal feed that is fed in your animals. It is in their meat, it is in their milk, it is in their eggs. It is in their manure. What else is it used for? So, it's a pervasive problem. If you're eating all these things conventional, you're having it, in every product you consume. Melamine cannot be used as a filler in organic foods. It cannot be mixed into the feed that is fed to free-range, organically fed, fed animals. Now, I wish there was better labeling on that stuff. There isn't. You do need to be careful when you go to the butcher counter. In general, you will need to go to a butcher counter to look at. I have found even in the most mainstream stores that they do carry some natural meats now. You're going to want to be looking for not just, I know some of us, even I was doing this until recently, just buying growth hormone-free milk because it was, $1, $2 cheaper. You want to switch to the organic milk so that those animals are not fed tainted feed either. Okay. The only caveat to this, and I'm just going to be upfront about it because if you read the article, which does not make, complete sense, is that manure from tainted animals, which will be tainted, could, in theory, be used on an organic farm as part of their fertilizer. So I don't know if there's any way to completely eradicate this from your food system because of that, but at least you'd be reducing it as much as possible. And also I think you could probably work around that by shopping at either stores or that carry local farmed products or from farmers markets. Smaller farms are less likely, if they're an organic farm, to be using outsourced tainted manure than a larger exporting organic farm in like Mexico or South America or, you know, even in the U.S. So think about that. On this front, in terms of organics, I do want to make something clear about my point of view about things is this. Because I've been doing this for a while, and I will say that through compacting and other reductions, I think I fed the family, you know, an organic diet this month, family of 4, and I will say, like, yes, I have one small child, but kid is 6. She eats as much as I eat, at least. So you know what I'm saying. I don't have a teenager, but and I think I probably spent, this month like $500 for the whole month. So, and that's everything organic, natural, hormone-free, whatnot. Here are some tips to this. You will get better prices on those products at a health food store, especially a larger one like Whole Foods, than at your conventional store or specifically at Walmart. So if you guys are shopping at Walmart and you're comparing prices, yes, those organic prices are ridiculous. I mean, I wouldn't buy them. I've gone and price checked, and there are many things that are twice as much at Walmart than they are at a regular store. When you get used to it and you get used to things you're looking for, sometimes those things go on sale at Walmart, but even when they're on sale, they're pretty much the same price as like a normal price. You'll do better to shop at a regular store. The biggest change, I will say, if you're going to make a switch and you haven't yet, is getting used to letting go of brands you were used to and adjusting to new brands. And so that will probably be the hardest thing, but I think you'll find that you actually spend less because you have less available to choose from for those prepackaged items. I find that for myself. Produce is oftentimes more, but if you stick to what is in season, it isn't. I mean, oftentimes in season organic produce will be sitting right next to conventional for the same price, sometimes cheaper. And I think we are all used to a food market that has grown to allow us to have imported foods so that we can have foods that are not in season all year round, and we're used to that, and it is maybe a little bit of an abrupt change when you stop doing that, and like, we don't have berries except for in the summer, and pretty soon we won't be having grapes anymore. You know, once the price gets crazy because they're importing them from someplace else, even if it's organic, then I stop buying it. It does not mean our diet suffers in any way. It means, you know, that's the natural way that you should be eating, and we get, you know, we have more frozen organic produce than fresh, and make switches in that regard. So, but it's something to think about, people. It's something that I think everyone should really think about, and if you're thinking like, you know, you're crazy, this is too much, you're getting caught up in something, I just want you to think about what your parents grew up eating and what your grandparents grew up eating, and realize that the radical change, the craziness, is what's happened to the food supply. It isn't eating organic food. That's going back to what people did eat. And if, like, you know, my grandfather, I think I said before, is famous for being like, that's ridiculous, like, I'm 6 years old and I don't have cancer. Yeah, because you ate organic food your whole freaking life, you know? So, you know, sometimes people don't realize exactly how much things have changed. I mean, there wasn't even plastics when he was growing up. So, something to think about. I think it's important. And I also really believe that it's important for us to assess in general, not just regarding our food, but in general, and I think we all know, things have gotten so cheap, we've gotten so used to being able to buy things for so cheap. It's the marketing, I mean, it's a whole psychological impact that it's almost impossible to start paying more for stuff. But we are paying prices for the cheap food we buy, for the cheap products we buy, for the cheap toys we buy. We know this. I mean, it's coming out again and again that many of these things have been, you know, poisonous toys, poisonous food, whatnot. The only way you can protect yourself is to pay for the value that you want to own and what you want to give your kids, and to assess how important certain things are for you. And I'm not preaching from on high, because it is difficult for all of us to switch. Once you've been allowed to buy a pair of pants for $9, it's really hard to pay $68. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I don't. But I'm working towards that, and I think we can all work towards less stuff of higher quality and ensure a better life and teach our kids that value. And, you know, maybe that's our era's thing to learn, you know. So that's my message. Check, check.